Mr. Speaker, Sam Sledz and his family have been trying to get flood protection for their home along the Red River just north of the floodway outlet since 1997. They've waded through the thick and thin of this government's approach to flood protection for 15 years and found it wanting. The Ombudsman has agreed, saying, and I quote, "We are unable to conclude you were treated in a reasonable manner." I asked the Premier whether he's willing to meet with Mr. Sledz and if his government can now, after 15 years, start to treat Mr. Sledz in a reasonable and common-sense manner.
Mr. Speaker, I'd be happy to review the information the member has provided for us to see what the process was, to meet with the family, explain to them what has been done and what possibilities there are. I understand, the member knows there's an independent appeal committee individual, Mr. Bell, who hears all these matters. We'll see what the facts are, and I'd be pleased to meet with this couple to discuss their specific situation.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sledz and his two daughters are here in the gallery. They've been out front all morning, in fact all day, with all the papers that the Premier needs. The fact is that they have gone to Mr. Bell's appeal, and he says that there are inconsistencies in the way this government has treated them over the years, and that that appeal lacks the full authority to address the situation. I ask Mr. Premier if he will meet today with Mr. Sledz and his family who are here and treat them in a reasonable and common-sense manner and ensure they have the flood protection they should have.
I indicated in my first answer that I'd be pleased to meet with these individuals, Mr. and his family's children, and we can discuss their case, review the facts, and see what's possible.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased that the Premier is ready to meet with Mr. Sledz and his daughters and to discuss this carefully. I think it's very important that we have some assurance that issues around the flood do not wait for 15 years. He was a minister there. None of us would be happy if the people in Lake St. Martin and Little Saskatchewan were still out of their homes 13 years from now. Let's get this addressed, and I hope the Premier will do so.
I didn't detect a question there, but as I indicated in my first two responses, I'd be pleased to meet with the family and see what the circumstances are and whether or not there's any additional support that they deserve or require, Mr. Speaker.